All right. So I'm go over this trade. Um, DSGT. I try to play this as a first red day. So it says 11,000 shares, but I just kept stabbing at it. Over traded this. So overall, with I think I traded this maybe about 3 or 4 times. Um, and my total loss equaled up to that. So this is what I was thinking on it. I was thinking more or less, okay, this stock broke out here, 40 like just say 48 cents, and now it's at a dollar. At the time, $1.29 was the red green. So I'm assuming that this is gonna have a quick flush back, at least test the ones, make a quick $1,000 off of it. Um, but what I gotta and this is what I gotta realize too, is okay, yes, it is up for that long, but it did have days to consolidate, like right here, right here, and now this day I guess would be considered a consolidation since it held green red. So immediately once it got red here, and also there's another thing that I need to start doing too with first red day, for me to let it work, let it plan out. Like if it goes red, give myself wider stop, like looking to stop out here versus if it pops back above. Because I'm starting to notice like some of these they're very wicky. Like it wicks. You have this wick here, then automatically it pops back up, then it goes over, under. Like I was getting chopped around a little bit, so I shorted. I think I shorted. Shorted here, covered here, reshort here, and cover it here. Then I reshorted again here, and this time I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and if it gets above here, then I'm gonna get out. So it never did. I was still short during this action here, and I did see the stacking here, and I think Tim Sykes ended up buying it. I was thinking that okay, after Tim Sykes followers start selling off, then this stock should start to collapse. And I had even drew this area, um, right around here on the chart as the area of concern because it tried to break out from this and it couldn't do it. But it finally, once it dropped, it came right down to this support area and it bounced off. Like honestly, I thought this was gonna keep going, but has another may have another leg to it. But yeah, but I was short. I was short here the second time. I didn't cover. I was up maybe like $500 right here. Had plenty of opportunity to get out, but I wanted to just be patient. Once this crossed green again, I got out. Then I reshorted it here again once it went red again. Had this little breakdown. I didn't get out. Then it went green. And once it went green, I got out again. So at this point in time, it was like afternoon. So I was thinking like, okay, it's the afternoon. It this is going because normally if it's the first red day, like it's not doing all of this. You know, normally, and when you agree with that too, like first red day is just like red, and that's it. Versus I'm
Yeah, it will
red.
definitely give a quick dive. This
Yeah,
one had more of it was holding up.
yeah. So I took a break. I was like, okay, like what am I not seeing in this stock? So Tesla is up. That's an EV. This stock is an EV, and not only is it EV, they had news on that day, and I'm like, yo, I'm such an idiot. Like this has news about EV. Tesla's up, so I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and buy it. So so I switched biasness. I bought it here. Had a chance to sell it up here, but I didn't. So I just held for the rest of the day. I end up selling half of it here, like towards the close, and I'm currently just holding about 2,500. So I'm in, uh, hoping, or hoping is not really a good thing, but I'm anticipating another leg up because a lot of these stocks, once they get above one and they consolidate, have a day of consolidation, which I believe this day to be one, it could definitely spike. So we'll see Monday whether or not if it does or don't. But either way, I locked in a couple of hundred. I think about $100 on this. So nothing big. So for me, last week, it was just me over trading. Like I end up losing like 17 or 1800 bucks last week just due to the fact of me over trading. Like, because as you can see, like when I talked about this, I traded this like 4 or 5 times. Then I had BTBT I traded looking for a first red day. Like last week, well, more in particular, Thursday and Monday, I was not following a lot of my rules. BTBT, I short this pre-market thinking it was going to go red. Then it started spiking. Riot, the same thing. Um, Shorted pre-market. Uh, ALPP. This was a long setup, I think. Yeah, long. I tried to dip buy it on the first bounce. Alright. So I try to buy it on this green candle here. Since this stock, has been climbing for the last couple of days. Then it had first red day, second red day. Then on the third day, it actually gapped down. So once I saw the gap down, and it was a big gap down, and you had these red candles that was printing, I figured this was gonna have a nice bounce. So I got in. I chased it a little bit. So I got in like right around here. It was holding up. Then I started seeing the red candle. So I was like, oh, let me just go and get out. So I did. But I did get it on the second bounce. I think it got that trade there.
Are you consistent with your position sizing too?
Um, for dip buys, it all depends. If I'm not getting filled all the way, then sometime
Hmm.
the sizing would be a little off. But normally, like for first red day, I'm trying to do 5,000 shares. If I get filled, if not, then I'll just go with whatever size that I get. Um, but on the second dip, end up getting it like right around here, and I sold like right around here. So I didn't, I was really peanuts in comparison to what it did, So, but really last week, all my other trades they were just like over trading. I don't think I have anything else significant that would be able to be of value. Let me just check.
Could you talk about let's say you have a trade, the biggest mistake that you made of the month? Could
Biggest
you
tra-
go in more in depth?
all right, I think the biggest trade of the month is like you were saying earlier, like letting my winners run, because time and time before I see, like especially for the first red day setup, just to hold, long as if it stays above the red green, just to hold it. And a lot of time, once it start approaching red to green, I tend to want to get out. I forgot which trade it was.
Well, could you explain how could you build more conviction for yourself so you're more confident to hold, because the emotions will still come, but what are you doing to get better going into 2021 January?
I think just re-reviewing charts, and just looking at time and time, because I think confidence come by doing, like you're doing it over and over and over again. Um,
Hmm.
so I think also, if you review the same charts that you messed up on and just seeing like the outcome over and over, that's gonna build more confidence. And I'm trying to find I forgot which trade it was, but it definitely was. I think it was this one, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Yeah. Like even though this ended up being a nice profit, like covering right here. Yes, it's going green, and this was HT, because like I said, we see this time and time over and over again. And this is the outcome. Like you have green, 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 green. First red day, then you have this massive, then followed by, more downtrend. Boom, boom, boom. Like we see this over and over again. So on, this was 8, 12. So on this particular day, I shorted it here, but then I took a loss here. Like me taking losses on first red days, that that shouldn't really happen, because the reason why I say it shouldn't really happen is because if I have my you know my stop loss tight, is gonna be, I'm gonna get chopped up. But if I make it wide, especially on first red days, because some setups you could have wider stop losses, and some you got to make it tight. But with a setup like first red days, it's good to make it wide, because 9 times out of 10 it does work out. And even if, let's say, even if it did get way up here and I lost a little bit more, it does not compare to what I'm losing, because after just looking at how much I lost, because I lost $700 on the, what was that ticker, DSGT. I lost $700 on DSGT, but had I just put my risk, way up here, I would have ended up losing $500 had it gotten there. And as you could see, it never reached there. Like OTCs, I gotta get in that same mindset. Like OTCs don't move like Nasdaq. Like Nasdaq, if it goes back green, yeah, you need to get out because it might just keep shooting up. Versus OTC, if you do take a short position on a red day, like right here, just keep this as your stop out versus the red to green. Because I could have, not only that, I even had a better average over here than any of my other short positions. So had I just kept it here and just like, hey, if it gets above here, that's gonna be my stop out. Yeah, I'm gonna lose 500. Now I'm getting chopped up here, 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 and I end up losing 700. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
So I think that's really was the biggest lesson for me.
I think you should focus more on going on having tighter stops. To be honest, I think tighter stops would work better than you than the wider stops. I think your biggest problem this month was just not having good entries, not waiting for the ideal moment when all the stars align. And this is the chart is telling you this is where I need the short, and you end up not pulling the trigger and having to, go have a worse average and then feel more uncomfortable in a position. Because if you did have like ideal averages, all the, or at least not everything's gonna be ideal, but you know what I'm saying. If it's always within range of, you're going to be risking way less than you're potentially going to be gaining, you would feel more comfortable personally because yeah, that red green line is at 129. But what was there to gain? It only got down to 120, and then the risk that you was just saying was at 140, 147 ish.
Yeah,
So way too much of a risk instead of if you were shorting at 147 and just risking off of that 150 mark. You know what I'm saying? Because it did go red. It is extended, so you can take a stab earlier. Your experience, you know what you're doing. Doesn't have to confirm red for you to feel like the stock is extended. You are confident because that provides you with the best risk reward.
gotcha. Like
And
start
you,
pretty much doing a
yeah,
starter.
start stabbing a little earlier because that's going to make you comfortable in a trade instead of trying to go where everyone is going on things to short at red green. You can't do what everyone do.
Right. No, that makes sense. And I think that was another thing too why I kept missing because I tried to short it as soon as it hit red, and as you could see, I didn't get any fills on that. And I think like those were
Yeah.
the two biggest days. Because I tried to short.
ALPP was just hard.
Yeah.
ALPP was just hard in general, to be honest.
Were you having issues with fills as well too, or no?
I didn't trade it because it just didn't feel like I had a good read on it. It wasn't giving me any type of edge that I know that I track data, so it didn't give. If it doesn't give me any type of edge on the chart, then it's just like, why am I trading?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that was pretty much it for me. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
My screen. Oh, I just pulled it up.
All right.
You good?
Yep.
All right. So my month was pretty good. This has been my best month as of date. I made 6.9.
Nice.
So so a really cool month just from where I started back when I really got serious, tracking every single set of everything that I did back in July. now, and it's just showing me just the growth behind, put coming in every day, showing up, and just trying to put in that work. It's really cool to see because one thing that you're getting better at trading is when you see consistencies throughout your weeks.
Right.
So every week pretty much was bringing in above 1,000. I had one off week, and then with that off week it was Christmas, so nothing like everything was pretty fluent. I did take red days, they were small, except for this day, which was HTZGQ. But I didn't let that affect me going into the following days. Just was sticking to the edge because I've been putting in work and tracking a whole lot of data, and it's just coming to fruition. Uh, as far as things that I really need to work on, well, I'm gonna just go over to just these stats first. You can see my average win has been 86.72. Average loss is 138. Biggest profit was 752. Biggest loss was 750. My average green day is $441. Percent gain is 22. Biggest percent loss was 13. Average red day was 502, and profit factor 4.81. Um, so everything was pretty consistent on my R multiple chart. You see how this is showing me that I'm letting my winners run,
Hmm.
letting my winners get over 10, 12, 14, that having some small wins, some are like point 0.4, but majority of the time I want the average to be above 10 because on every setup you can at least make 10%, especially on these OTC stocks. And with your losers, keeping them really, really, really tight, keeping them under zero point 0.5. Only only had two major errors with a zero point 0.7 and a 13, and with that 13 it was
No small size, right?
still fairly, yeah, very very small size. So I can't even. Let me see, right here. Yeah, it was only $54 with it. So really, really cool. Um, Another thing that's consistently just adding things along with consistently adding things to improve and get more efficient and optimize. Myself as a trader, seeing which sector was the hottest. As I can see this month, I can tell that healthcare was hot and technology was the hottest thing. Um, Also, I think I went over this last week. Added this chart in, just showing what area am I best at when it comes to the uh, the price of the stock. What area am I? Do I have the most edge in? And this is clearly showing me I'm better right now at stocks when the stocks are under $1. That's
Hmm.
when I have the most edge because you can see all of the dots right around there. I do need to work on, just getting them when they're above $1, $2, because there is still a whole lot of rewards and potential behind finding those things. Trading is a marathon, so it'll come with time. Particular trades that I would want to go over in the month. The first thing I'll probably go over is S4 since it's my biggest game. And even then, like even now, I feel like my problem still is not letting my winners run enough because I track so much data and I still am not getting the most out of. I'm still not optimizing, my edge the most I could, and then some of that is not going to be perfect because I'm human. There's only so much I can do about that. Oh, what's going on? Oh no, stocks or trade isn't working. It's the 11th. Yep. was the ninth. So you can see right here, S4 on the ninth came out with some type of news, had a big run up on the first green day, gapped up huge, came down, spiked to its red green line, held that red green, had a big spike, down almost 30%. Right here was right where I got in, but my problem was I sold right here. And through risk reward, nothing is wrong with selling right here because I saw that the level 2 is turning, but my risk reward was this right here, which was that's letting the chart guide me instead of just trading off of straight percentages in a way. I
Mhm.
want to get better at taking profits based off of the chart because yeah, my entry was on point, but my exits are still trash to me at least.
Did one shot
But
exit?
I did make, yeah, just trying to get out of that. I feel like it's a bad habit because the way Tim Sykes trades
Yeah.
is he enters and exits one time,
Right.
and I I picked up that bad habit in a way.
Right.
It's not. I guess it's not too bad, but it's just something I am aware of, and I know that's a flaw.
Yeah. I mean,
But
same here.
yeah, just letting the chart guide me completely when I have an edge. Trying to take profits. My winners really run. One thing I am very proud of is I've been really just focusing on my edge this month, not letting or even letting anyone get inside my head,
Mhm.
not comparing myself to others, just taking every day with a fresh approach, not expecting anything from the market, just showing up every day, seeing if something is there, seeing if there's any potential there, and just taking advantage of the potential. Another trade that I can say notable was Gaxi that I kind of was really messed up because I think this was this past Friday, but I was giving alerts in the chat about this one where it what did happen midday, and I did trade it on this midday bounce right here, um, right here. Like I got in at 0.026, but I saw how weak it was, and I had to sell for small gains. But the thing was, I knew it was going to give a very big bounce, especially because you see how my lines are drawn 30%, 40%, okay, 50%. And then it went under 50% under a key level, and I completely missed out on that. And this would have been probably my best trade of the month because I knew there was so much reward, just just so much reward, like potential for reward on this trade. So just always trying to stay in sync with the market is something I'm trying to work on going into this month. Consistently looking at things and trying to always optimize and get better in my approach. I will say, as far as just cutting my losses, like I couldn't really ask for any better. Like my average loss or my average risk that I'm risking on trades is only $83, and my average gain was around 280 bucks. So who wouldn't want to risk $83 to gain almost 300 bucks? That is to me that's the essence of what trading really is when you have an edge, you are trying to maximize your edge. Um, Focusing in on a whole lot of dip buys because, like you said, first red days were really really hot this month for OTCs. There were a whole lot of just opportunities on that side, and going into 2021, I'm thinking about how can I get better as a trader. How can I optimize myself? How can I get more efficient? One thing that I've already done is I've joined MIC just to be able to, not only just trade the OTCs, but start dabbling into the Nasdaq. Start, really start getting some data into those. So I act when it's time to trade those stocks. I'll be farther along than most people would.
Right. And one
Uh,
and one thing that you may have already realized or you may have not, that just shows you like you're seeing success already in one niche, and the fact that you spent money, most people they'll be like, man, I got this. Don't need me to learn anything else. I got my data, I got this and that. But you're actually taking, a step further. You're like, man, I want to learn more. So to me, that just
bro,
the essence
yeah, bro,
of
I'm a
like,
student of the game, bro.
yeah. So that's powerful to me. Like the fact that you still like, I'm just gonna spend money and I'm gonna learn a new strategy. I'm gonna learn a new area. So definitely
Yeah,
kudos for you for that,
the
bro.
the biggest thing was the biggest reason. Like I do say that was because yeah, December was cool, but this was just 1 month. It doesn't 1 month doesn't define you. Yeah, I got it after 1 month, but when OTCs really slowed down in September, like $300.
Right.
Nasdaq's was running. There were I seen when Alex and Bao they was posting their charts. The their low hanging fruit strategy, they still were doing thing. Harry Haas was still doing his thing. Why am I not able to come into the market every single day and do what a real trader is supposed to do and just take opportunity, um, you know, build your wealth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was just definitely one of the biggest things, especially when I had a good month, and that was all I told. I think I said this beginning of the well, not at the beginning of the year, but around November. That in December, that was going to be like my Christmas present to myself to join MIC because like I was really paying attention to those videos. I watched pretty much all those videos on YouTube, all their interviews. Every little explanation that they do have over their strategy. So, and I really do just enjoy that they're the fact that they're building like a bigger community. So yeah, just trying to always get better, always be willing to learn because I know for a fact that I don't know everything. I know I'm not the smartest person either, but I like to as a person and as like, the person I want to be, I want to have perfect intentions in the things that I do just throughout life. And I always do want to get better at things. And I know that hanging around or being around the people who are successful rises your chances of being successful in that area tremendously as well. So to me, it makes sense. It just makes sense to join it, especially when you're winning.
Yeah.
Uh, it's yeah, just been consistently just trying to get better, consistently trying to work on things. There's several things that I still really, really want to work on. Just when it comes to longing breakouts, because on when I do long breakouts, I'm not letting them run enough. I'm only still getting the same amount that I get on panic dip buys. On panic dip buys, I average around probably 10%, which is cool because that is around what the edge should be at. But on the breakouts, you should be getting somewhere between. almost 20% every single play. Because if a breakout is deemed successful, it'll run at least 50% from the breakout line. So somewhere in between that range, I should be able to make at least 20%. I know that's probably like hard to see in a way without showing any charts or anything, but if you like really get into trading, you'll know what I'm talking about. Uh, but yeah, it's been
ALP,
a
yeah, pull up ALPP chart. I mean that would be a good example. I mean it well over 50%, but
was just gonna bring up A AITX because I never even traded ALPP. Let me pull up this one because I can show it's a clear example, and it's kind of how I on Friday. This was how I had my edge going into that day. Dang, the chart is messed up.
I hate that when I have.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So on AITX, pull up the 1 year. It didn't get all the way up to 48 on this day. This is a fake print, but the breakout line was right at
And even from the first breakout too.
yeah. It'll that like if it's a successful breakout, it'll at least run 50%. That's just based off the stats that I've been tracking. But if we go to the intraday, we have this day where it hit this 0.35, right? We get a day of consolidation, and now we break out, and then we get a almost OTC. We get a perfect OTC swivel, right? Building into this day right here, where it gives you that break right there over 0.0328. That to me that was the best risk reward. And then you got that 0.035 breakout, which was attracting other people who are coming late to the party, who just say, "Oh, it's a breakout. It's towards the end of the year. Let me buy it right here." And then you get that parabolic move because everyone is, just going in anticipation of that breakout. But I only made 10% on a trade when I know my edge is so much more. Like I was long right around on that break on right around this dip. Even though the best place I should have been in was this point oh three mark because that was the clear trend right here. But I missed it just because I was pulling up my E Trade, trying to log into my E Trade, coming back from the afternoon. Missed it. Saw it was going to give me an opportunity again. Added into that 0.0314 level. Still had a pretty clean risk because I was just risking 3, but only selling at 0.035 when I know the breakout is at 0.035 just was it's a pointless sell to me because it was just like it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. And why am I selling when the stock is doing exactly what I want it to do and it's fitting all of my criterias for like this long setup? And I knew that once it broke that 0.035 line, there was still going to be opportunity going into that next day, which it did give me that next day push. And I knew this stock it still wasn't moving that much in terms of percent, but where is 0.035? 50% of 0.035 would have been right here at 0.0525. And what do you know? Boom, we get right around that edge mark right here at 0.0525. And even on this day, I still kind of messed it up. I saw the level 2 turn. It gave me that perfect opportunity, uh, dipping down to the red green line. Perfect. Uh, I would say yes. This is a dip buy, but it's a variation of a dip buy because it's a continuation of a breakout. So got in right here at point oh 0.05, 0.045, knowing that my edge is to sell at 0.0525, but I still sold right around here 0.051. Still just minor things. I just want to be able to completely trust myself and my edge because I track the data for a reason to have an edge, and just want to continually get better at trusting myself and trusting my process since it's gotten me this far, and just trying to keep it going. But it is cool because overall in profits, I did pass 10K.
Nice.
If I pull up my actual monthly P&L chart, you can see everything for the month, and I finally this good big month. You can see my total is right at 11K ish. So right there is at 11,785. It may be a little bit above this, so because there are some like extra trades I think that I made in April. Still, is right around that range anyway. This is when I started taking trading seriously. So, that's the only thing I can say. Just going into the next month with the same mindset, not expecting anything, just showing up, and whatever happens, happens. But gonna, cause still trying to consistently improve myself.
Hey man, that's very very impressive, bro. Definitely keep it up.
And I appreciate it. It's been a whole lot of hard work, but I told you that I like eat, sleep, breathe this stuff. It's all I do.
Yeah, and that's what people got to realize it too. Once you start going down that rabbit hole, I mean, you keep sinking in. So it's
Yeah,
I love it, bro. I love it.
for sure. Like the
All right, everybody.